So thank you for joining me. I'm Lisa Wickstead with Connections Yoga. Today we're going to introduce you to a Swift Flow yoga practice. What do you need for that? We just need a mat and a blanket. And I invite you to go ahead and sit on that blanket. What that blanket's going to do, it's going to tilt your pelvis forward, and it's going to help you sit up a little bit straighter so that you improve your posture. The leg bend position can be anything that works for your body. Traditionally, it's easy pose, and it's crisscross shins or staggered feet. Knees can be high or low. You don't have to do this position because even though they call it easy pose, it is not always easy for people's knees and people's hips. So find the position that allows you to feel most comfortable and allows you to sit up tall. You're going to hear me use some Sanskrit words during our classes. Sanskrit is the language of yoga. It is one of the oldest languages. It's similar to Latin in that it's not an actively spoken language nowadays, but it's kind of like science, genus, species. So if you were referring to a crayfish, that's a common name, or a crawdaddy, depending on what region you're at. But if you say the name genus, species, then everybody knows what you're talking about. So the Sanskrit name for easy pose is Sukhasana, if you want to say that, Sukhasana. All right, asana is pose. Sukha is the easy translation. It's just little words that are combined together. All right, so I invite you to relax your shoulders. So let them fall down. You could even roll your shoulders 2 or 3 times. Let them cascade down your back and take a big sigh breath because that's going to release a lot of tension. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Maybe do that again. And then we come to our natural breath and just notice our body and how we feel. To also make sure that you get your weight settled over the sit bones. That's the bottom of your pelvis where the pelvis comes down. If you want to feel that, you can wiggle your hands underneath of your glutes and shift your weight to one side. It's going to put more of the weight on that side on the sit bone to the other side. You can shift forward and you can shift way backwards. You want that weight right pressing down into the earth or pressing into your hands, and that'll keep your shoulders over top of your hips. So once you find that place and long length through the body, we just breathe and notice how the body feels. Notice how busy our mind is or how quiet the mind is. And start to lengthen the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Slow, steady breathing. If on your exhale you want to squeeze the abs in towards the spine, you're welcome to do that. That'll actively engage the core muscles. And about 3 more rounds of this focused breath. I invite you to shift into our focused breath for today, which is called 4-part breath or box breath. And we're going to bring our inhale and our exhale to 4 distinct parts. I want you to imagine a block, a box, square or rectangle. You're going to breathe, start in one corner, and you're going to inhale, breathing till you get to the next corner. And then you're going to travel across or down to the other corner on your exhale. Inhale down to the next corner and exhale across back to where you started. And then do that again. You can draw a box in the air if that helps you visualize that. Continue breathing. The idea of this breath is that the inhale and the exhale are equal as you go around the box. And so it helps to balance the breath, the mind, and the body. Go 2 more times around your box. No rush when you're done. Let go of that focused breath and come back to your natural breath. Place a hand to your heart center. Here is one of my favorite parts of yoga practices. You can set an intention for your practice, a word or a phrase that speaks to you. What do you desire from your practice, or what do you desire to carry through the rest of your day? It can be as simple as patience, breath awareness, compassion. There's so many intentions that you can choose. Can you choose just one right now? If you'd like to say it out loud to solidify it, feel free to do so, and then breathe with your intention. A gentle release of your hand and opening the eyes. You might want to change your leg position. If your legs are crisscross in easy pose, you might want to crisscross the other direction. All right, we're going to start head, move our way down. Go ahead and turn your head over to one side. Open up the side of your neck, relaxing your shoulders. Inhale back to the center and then exhale over to the other side. Inhale back. Exhale, chin to chest. Stay here for a full breath in and out. On your next inhale, bring the head back up, and we're going to do that again. Exhale, head turns to one shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Everybody's breath is different, so just follow yours. We'll meet with the chin to the chest. And then imagine the nose is like the pendulum of a clock, and you're going to move the nose to one side and then to the other, swinging back and forth. Bring your head back to the center and lift the head. Move the shoulders, circle the shoulders or bounce them up and down, whatever feels good for you. So this is isometric movement. It's just focused right on that area that you're working on. A little bit easier for me is to add in the arms. No longer isometric movements. I'm now working on the back and the middle back, upper back. So you're welcome to circle your arms around if you want to. All right, from here, you're going to bring your arms down and we're going to lengthen. Typically when we go up to the sky, you'll hear me cue palms up to the sky. When we come down, palms down. So we're going to start with palms up. Reach long, inhale through your arms. You can come out from your shoulders or you can go all the way up, but don't hug your shoulders in. Relax your shoulders down. Turn your palms out. Squeeze your belly as you lower the arms down. So you want to pair this with your breath. Palms come up to the sky. Inhale up. Exhale down. This next time we're going to add in a twist for the waist and the back. Inhale up. You're going to twist from your waist over to your right side and lower your arms down. One hand is going to come to your thigh. The other hand you want to bring as close as you can to your pelvis. I like to rest my back on my bicep, and it helps me stay a little bit taller. And then press your shoulders towards each other, shoulder blades. And then turn your head over to the left side. So you've got this big body twist, beautiful. And then bring your head back over to the other shoulder. Inhale the arms up and twist and come back to the center. Let's bring our palms down to the heart center. I want to invite you to walk your hands forward. We're going to keep long length in the spine. You have some choices. A lot of people will curl down. If you want to keep your muscles and bones really strong, you just slide forward and think of heart coming towards the earth, not rounding the spine. You choose what works best for you. And slowly walk your hands back up. Inhale your arms back up to the sky. We're going to go the other direction. Twist over to your left side, lower the arms down. So slow flow yoga, you can already start to hear some of these cues, inhale, in or out of poses, connecting to the breath. Turn your head over to the other shoulder. Good. Nice, steady, deep breath. Exhale the head back to that back shoulder. You're going to inhale the arms up to the sky. Come back to the center to goddess arms. Bend your elbows, 90-degree arms. Yeah. All right. So to get more into the back, you're going to push those elbows down towards the waist and see where you feel that. And then inhale, elbows back up to the shoulders. Come all the way to the sky. And exhale back into your goddess arms. Good. Release your arms down. Let's get into those now. Bend your knees, plant your feet. I like to come on my fists with thumbs a lot of times. You could come fingertips forward or backwards, depending on your shoulder position. You're going to step your feet. Let's start 3 different ways of doing windshield wipers. Feet together is position number 1. Lower your knees over to one side. Go ahead and turn your head and your chest towards that direction, and then go to the other side. All right. Your other option is to turn your chest away from your knees and twist, looking away from the legs. All right. Come back to the center. Next option is to open those hips. Bring those feet hip distance apart. So that would be index toes, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, all align in the same plane. All right. So you're going to look your legs down, and you can either face the knees or face away from them, and do that a couple of times on each side. This is what most people are going to do when they come into windshield wipers. We're going to meet back of the center, and then we're going to step our feet wider than hip distance. What this is going to do is going to open up those hip joints a little bit more and give you a little bit more range of motion to get into those hips. So feel free to stay with that, or if you feel like you want to bring those legs closer, feel free to do so. And no rush. We're going to meet back to the center and extend our legs forward. We're going to do Dandasana, staff pose. Say Dandasana. Danda is staff, asana's pose. You could use your fists and thumbs or your hands with fingertips forward, depending on the length of our arms. So we find out that our anatomy, we're all shaped differently, right? Longer legs, makes it harder if you got short arms to reach your feet, longer arms and shorter legs, you can reach your feet a whole lot easier. So we all have different anatomy. So find what helps you to sit up really tall. So this is a calf stretch. Long length through the body. You're going to hear me talk a lot about engagement of the feet. So point the toes. That means you're pushing your feet forward, and flex your feet. That means either draw the toes up towards the sky, or for some people, they'll pull it back. Toes come back towards the knees. If you point, you're stretching the tops of your legs. If you flex, you're stretching the backs of your legs. So your choice. All right. If it's comfortable for you, squeeze the belly. Press your shoulder blades together. This is the foundational pose of all seated poses. Would have been a great quiz question. What's the foundational pose of all seated poses? Dandasana. All right. And then I'm going to invite you into a deep forward fold. Bend your knees deeply. You're going to slide your hands across the earth and lower belly towards the thighs. Long length. Could you curl down? Sure, you could curl down. But again, if you want nice, strong back, less intensity on the bones,
And keep a long length. All right, so if you want to work those hamstrings, slide your feet forward and come into a seated forward fold. What does that look like? Well, it can be upright and back staying nice and long and squeeze those shoulder blades together. If you want curled body, you're welcome to curl down. You could grab onto your feet or you can stay nice and tall. And notice how much of a bend you have in your knees. Remember, that's your choice. You get to control how much of this you want. All right. Slowly come back up. You're going to plant your hands behind you, fingertips forward. You're going to do a heart lift. Straighten your elbows. Keep your toes pointing to the sky and lift the chest to the sky. Now, if you want more intensity, you can point the feet forward and lift the pelvis up. If you want to stay grounded, keep the pelvis down and keep squeezing those shoulder blades together. If you are lifted up in reverse plank, lower that pelvis down. We're going to slowly walk forward and take a forward fold again. And gentle release. Good. Let's come into butterfly, traditional pose that are often seen in yoga practices. Doesn't matter how high or how low your knees are, soles of the feet come together towards each other. What we want to avoid is the flapping of our legs. If you want to flap your legs, go for it. What I want you to do is noticing what parts of your body is it working when you flap your legs. All right, notice knees, notice ankles, notice hips. All right, so if you want control and strength, what you're going to do is hold on to your legs or ankles or wherever it comes. You're going to slowly lift the knees up and slowly release down. So instead of being releasing in the joints like that flappiness was earlier, you are creating strength and control through the legs. Do you have to move them at all? Absolutely not. You can just come into your butterfly pose and come into stillness and open those hips. Turn your head over to one side, back over to the other side, to the center, and release. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees. I always recommend a blanket underneath hands and knees because it creates this cushion of support for the knee joints, even if you don't think you need it. So go for that. All right. So you want to get your knees under your hips. Toes can be pointed or tucked to your choice. Wrist under the shoulders. Spread those fingers. That distributes the weight off of your wrist. Here's our foundational pose for all kneeling postures. I want you to bend the elbows, straighten the elbows, and press away from the earth. Don't let your head hang down. Draw the back of your head towards the sky. This is known as table pose. We're going to go into tabletop balance. Extend your right leg long. The toes are still on the earth. Here's where you're going to hear me say, squeeze the abdominal muscles. And if you want to add more, you can stay here or you can lift your leg. You don't want it up towards the sky. You want it out from the hip. And then if you want more, you can reach your left arm forward, fingertips or hands to the earth, or you can reach out the arm from your shoulder like you're shaking someone's hand. So lots of different choices. When you're ready, decide, do you move your leg back first? Do you move your arm back first? And as you come back, I like a child's pose. So you draw your pelvis back towards your heels, belly towards your thighs, and come down to the earth. Arms can be forward or by your side. Now, there's a lot of people who child's pose doesn't work for their hips and their knees. And a great option is puppy dog. Knees are under your hips. You rest your head on your forearms or you reach your arms forward. Some people will melt their heart down to the earth. It creates more of an arch in the spine. Your choice if you do that or not. So either child's pose or puppy dog pose. Reconnect to your breath. And we'll shift back up to table pose again. Weight goes into the right side. Extend your left leg back. Good. When you're ready, See if you want to add the lift of the legs, toes pointing to the earth. See if you want to reach your arm forward, either to the earth or reaching out. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Squeeze the belly and breathe. And then in the next breath or two, set your hands, set your knee down, and then see what you like to do. Maybe do you want to come back to child's or puppy dog? Do you want to do around the world? You walk your hands forward. You bring your heart towards the one corner to the other corner. It's kind of like a modified plank. And then you bring your hips back to the back corners. And then you just roll around one direction, then the other. All right, back to the center. Want to get your legs working. We're not going to, because of the short practice, we're not going to come to standing, but I'm going to get you to lie down on your belly and we're going to stretch out those legs. I don't like the folded up blanket, but I do like a blanket under my pelvis. So I'm just going to open the blanket. You're welcome to do the same. Come down into crocodile, which is just lying down on your belly to the earth. We're just here for a short time. Lift is not as important as length. Point your toes behind you. Press down through your pubic bone. Wiggle the pelvis around. And I'm going to invite you to reach long through your right foot and leg and lift that leg off the earth. We're not trying to lift it up to the sky. We're trying to reach long behind us. And lower down. And then same thing on the other side. Reach through the toes of the left side, lengthening your leg, and then lift the leg. It doesn't have to come up to get those benefits. Doesn't have to go high. And lower down. All right. Your next option is if you want to come into Sphinx pose. You come to your forearms. The arms are parallel to each other, fingers spread. You can stay here for a back bend, or you can go back to that lengthening of your leg and lift one leg. Press down through the pubic bone, lower down, and then go to the other side. Reach, then lift. I invite you, bring your feet down to the earth. If you're doing that, walk your hands over to the left side. We're going to curl over to one side. And then walk your hands over to the other side. We're just laterally stretching the body while we're in a back bend. And come back to the center, come back to your crocodile, and bend your knees, and we're going to release the back. So you can either windshield wiper, reverse windshield wiper your legs side to side and just move the legs, or you can rock your pelvis, and that will get into your lower back a little bit more. You could also swirl those legs around in big circles, and then go the other direction. All right, we're going to lower those legs down. You're going to press yourself. And then if you have your blanket open, you're going to close your blanket back and come down to reclined. You want that blanket underneath the head and underneath the neck. That will help support the back. You do not want the blanket under your shoulders. That's where the head is supported and the back stays a little bit more stable. Shoulders, hips stay aligned. Now I invite you to come with knees bent, feet planted to the earth. Take a moment to allow the earth to relax you just a little bit. Sometimes call this a little mini Shavasana. Okay, that's it. There you go. Spinning. All right, take your hands. We're going to do a bridge pose. The goal of a bridge pose is not to make our bodies look like an N shape, arch like that. The goal for the greatest strength is to be able to draw a line from the shoulder to the hips to the knees, all in the same plane. So you're going to plant your palms down to the earth. You're just kind of wiggle the heels underneath of the knees. You're going to press into the earth, lift the pelvis, knees. You're going to try to stay as steady as possible. Difference between fitness and yoga, wellness, are you squeezing your glutes? Don't squeeze your glutes. We want the energy to be from our back muscles. So if you need a little pat of those glutes to relax them just a little bit, Feel free to do that. Press your shoulders down. So the goal is to get this nice little inclined shape, this little slide. So if you would set a little kid on your knees, they could slide off to your shoulders. All right. You've been holding your bridge. So when you're ready, lower down on the exhale. Now for pelvic floor health, right? The idea is generally we inhale up. Let's do that. Inhale up and exhale down. For pelvic floor health and stronger transverse muscles that wrap around your organs, you're going to inhale with the pelvis down. I know it's reverse of what most people do. Inhale, pelvis down. Exhale, lift pelvis up. Inhale, coming back down. Exhale, go back up. Exaggerate your breath if you need to. And then the last time your pelvis comes down, reach the tailbone towards the heels so that you're not crimped in the lower back when you come down, and you're going to hug in your knees. Give yourself a nice big hug. All right, so this is known as Apanasana. Apana. So if you want to say that, Apanasana, knees to chest. See if you want to plant your hands to your knees and straighten elbows and bend your elbows. This is a nice little cat-cow motion for the spine. Your big toes can be together or your feet can be separated hip distance apart. Gentle rocking of the pelvis. The next time the legs come towards your chest, hug yourself one final time, get some compression for the back, and then you're going to come into your Shavasana space. So this can look very different for different people. It can be knees bent, feet planted to the earth to support the lower back. It can be legs extended long to open up the hip creases, those hip flexors, relaxed feet. Once you decide what position works best for you in this traditional lying on your back position, you're then going to take your hands and say, where do I go with my hands? If you don't love Shavasana, placing them to your body is a nice way to connect to the breath. If you want to relax your shoulders, bring your arms by your side, slightly away from your body with palms to the sky. That is the best way to relax your shoulders. Wiggle your heels a little bit away from your legs, stretch to those legs, shake the feet out. And relax the legs. Shake out your shoulders and relax your shoulders. Open and close your hands and then release your hands. They would come into a natural breath, breathing in and out through the nose, relaxing the body, feeling the effects of your practice. Usually stay in here for about 3 minutes. Just being present, mindful of your thoughts, of your feelings, your breath, and of your energy. Start to deepen your breath. The deepened breath helps the body to remember and recognize that something else is about to happen, and that something is movement. Let's start with just the fingers and toes. Don't move anything else except for toes and fingers. Very isometric movement. Now open and close your hands and squeeze your feet and release. Let's get into wrists and ankles by circling feet and hands. While we're doing that, start to move the head side to side. Keep the eyes closed. The head comes back to the center. Then open your eyes and give it a full body stretch. Reach wide. And then bend your knees and draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. Thank yourself for your practice, for being present for our time together. So important to say that aloud. And then you're just going to gently start to rock from side to side. This is going to give you a nice little massage through the sacrum, through the lower back. There's no rush here. And then roll over to your sides, still with the knees drawn in. Feel free to pillow, support your head. So this brings us into our fetal position. Shavasana is known and translated as corpse pose. It's the end of the practice, kind of creepy sounding, right? Well, then we come back into the fetal position, which is the point of rebirth and new life. So you remind yourself of your intention here. And then you take your top hand, and as you push yourself up, you're carrying that intention with you as you get ready to close the class. So find a comfortable position. It can look like any seated position. It can come back to that Sukhasana easy pose if you want to. And you will see many practices will say namaste with Anjali Mudra, hand prayer, hands together at the beginning of practice or at the end of practice. I use it at the end of my practice as a way to connect with each other just before we move forward with the rest of the day. So I invite you to bring your hands to the heart center and Anjali Mudra prayer hands. This is our center of communication, our center of connection here with the heart. I want to thank you so much for being here in this class with me, for sharing this. I hope that you will continue to share more classes with me, and that as we move forward, you experience beauty, happiness, and peace. And we say namaste, which means the light that's within me is the same light that's within you, and I acknowledge that light. But instead of saying all that, we say namaste. So thank you so very much.